Hello grade 2s. So for this concept, you are really going to have to listen carefully because this is brand new to you. You have not done this in grade 1 or in term 1. But the good news is that when we see you back at school very soon, we are going to do this again. So I just want you to watch the video and I want you to do the best that you can, but if it is still confusing for you, then try not to worry too much about it because we are going to do this when we get back again. So for this video, we are going to start with a concept called fractions. Now it's very easy normally. A fraction is simply a part of a whole. So if I have a cake and I cut it up into 4 equally sized pieces, I have cut that cake up into fractions. A fraction is a piece of something. If you have a slab of chocolate and you break off one of those tiny little squares, you are actually breaking off a fraction of the slab of chocolate because you are taking a piece away from the whole chocolate. So that's all that a fraction is. But it's very important to remember that a fraction has to be equally sized. You can't just cut a cake into 2 pieces and have one big piece like this and one tiny piece. Fractions are always equal in size. Okay, so this is the word fraction up here. And the fractions that we are going to look at this lesson, we are going to have a look at one whole. One whole means the entire thing, the whole cake or the whole pizza that has not been cut up yet. Then we are also going to look at half and what that means and what a half looks like. Then we are going to look at quarter and what quarters look like. This word here is quarter. And then lastly, we're going to have a look at thirds. So for this video, it's going to be me for a lot of the time, and then I'm going to need to call Miss Blackbeard and Mrs. Moyo to come and help me. So watch out for them. Okay, so if I look at this circle now, this could be a pizza, it could be a cake, whatever. This is one whole pizza. I'm going to go with pizza because I like eating that. So this is one whole pizza. It has not been cut up. It has not been shared into any equal parts yet, into any fractions. So this is one whole. Now, if I had to share this pizza between 2 people, say now it's Friday night and my husband and I order pizza and now we cut it into 2 pieces. I'm not going to be very happy if he cuts it and gets the bigger piece and I get left with the smaller piece. I'm going to tell him to cut it in half properly. So I'm going to ask him to cut it into 2 equal pieces. And they need to be the same size. So now you can see that 2 halves actually are the same as one whole. And you can see that each half is the same size. If I take away one of the halves, now I have 1/2 of the whole pizza. Half always means 2. Okay, the same as when we do halving and we share into 2 baskets. Now, if I take that same pizza and now I'm going to share it for supper between myself, my husband, and my 2 children. Now I'm going to need to cut it into 4 equal pieces because none of them will be happy if I take one big piece and then I give them the rest of that. Now I need 4 equal pieces. If I'm cutting into 4 equal pieces, I'm going to call each piece 1/4. Okay? So in one whole, there are 4 quarters. And each quarter is the same size as the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters is the same as one whole. If I had to do that, you can see it's the same. Okay. Now there's another way that we can do this. If I'm sharing my pizza between 3 people, I'm going to cut it into 3 pieces, obviously equal pieces. And each piece is going to be called 1/3. So there's 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. together make up one whole. Now, some of you might be looking here and realizing something about a half and a quarter. If I give you 2 quarters of my pizza, I have actually given you 1/2 of it. Because 2 quarters make up the same as 1/2. Okay? So that's something that's interesting for you to look at over there. So if we've got 1 whole, then I have not cut that piece up at all. That is the entire thing. I would far rather have 1 whole pizza than just 1/3 of the pizza, because if I have 1/3 of it, I'm getting far less than 1 whole. I'm just getting a small amount then. If I need to share something between 2 or into half, into 2 equal pieces, I'm going to share it into 2 equally sized pieces, and this will be called 1/2, and this will be called 1/2. If I need to share further into 4, I'm going to use quarters, because quarter means 1 out of 4. Okay? So then I'm going to cut it into 4 equal pieces, and those 4 quarters together make up 1 whole. Likewise, if somebody says to you, I'm going to give you 2 quarters of my pizza, and they give me these 2 pieces over here, get the press stick off there. If they give me these 2 pieces here, they have actually given me the same as 1/2 of my pizza bag. Okay, so 4 quarters is the same as 1 whole, and 2 quarters is the same as 1/2. However, you can see, if you get 1/4 of a pizza, you are getting less than 1/2. If somebody says to you, would you like 1/4 of my pizza, or would you like 1/2 of my pizza? If you are very hungry, you are going to say 1/2 please, because 1/4 is much smaller. And if you're going to share something between 3 people, you're going to cut it into 3 equally sized pieces, and each piece is going to be called 1/3. Okay, 1/3 of the piece of pizza, or 1/3 of the pizza, is 1 out of the 3 pieces. Okay, so now I'm just going to quickly show you how these look with a square. This is 1 whole square. If I cut my square into 2 equal pieces, you're right, I'm going to get 2 halves, 1/2 and 1/2, which together make 1 whole. And if I put them on top of my square, you will see that the 2 halves make up the same as my 1 whole square. Okay? You can see it over there nicely. And a better way of doing it might be to show you like this. 2 halves is the same as 1 whole. Okay? But you can also see here, that 1/2 is smaller than 1 whole. Okay, now if I take that square and I cut it into 4 equal pieces, what is each piece called? You're right, a quarter. And I need 4 quarters to make up 1 whole. Let me hold these nicely for you. Okay, like that. 4 quarters together make up 1 whole. Okay, so that's what you need to know about fractions for now. Like I said to you, don't panic if it's a little bit difficult for now, because we are going to go back and do this later on. The one last thing that I do want to show you, if I draw a circle and I cut it into 4 equally sized pieces, I'm cutting the circle into quarters. If I take away one of those quarters, or I eat 1/4 of the pizza, I'm going to eat that quarter. That means 3 quarters are left. 1/4 is shaded in, it's gone, I ate it. That means 3 quarters are left. If I eat another quarter of my pizza, it's gone. Now 2/4 of my pizza are left, or 1/2 of my pizza is left. Okay, so in the next little video, Mrs. Moyle and Miss Blackbeard will be in the video, and I'm going to show you something nice with them before I tell you what work to do. See you in a bit. So in the previous little clip, we started learning about fractions, and I told you that I needed some help today with the rest of this. So Miss Blackbeard has come to help, and so has Mrs. Moyle. Now we're going to play a little game. I'm going to pretend that I have got something to give to them, and we're going to ask them a few questions about it. So, I want you to pretend that this is a nice big piece of chocolate. And I'm going to share this equally into equal pieces, and I'm going to give them this. So this is my big piece of chocolate that I'm starting with. Now, Miss Blackbeard was very kind to me. So I decided that I was going to give her 1/2 of that piece. But Mrs. Moyle, she forgot to say hello to me this morning. So I gave her 1/4 of the chocolate. So now look nicely at what these two teachers are holding up. Who do you think is going to be the happiest with what they've got? Which one of you are the happiest?
Me.
Why are you the happiest?
I've got a bigger piece of chocolate.
What fraction of the chocolate do you have?
I have half the chocolate.
And what fraction do you have, Mrs. Moyle?
I only have a quarter.
A quarter. So now Mrs. Moyle will tell you that 1/4 of the chocolate is smaller than 1/2 of the chocolate. So that's why Miss Blackbeard is happier, because she actually has the most. Okay, so now you can give me back the chocolates. Now, I'm going to give Mrs. Moyle this time 1 whole piece of chocolate. And then I'm going to give Miss Blackbeard 2 halves of the chocolate. Now who's going to be the happiest?
I am.
No, I am.
No, I got the whole.
But I also got a hole.
So, although Mrs. Moyle got 1 whole piece of the chocolate and Miss Blackbeard got 2 pieces, when Miss Blackbeard puts her 2 pieces together, she actually has the same amount as the 1 whole piece of chocolate. So actually, both these teachers are the happiest, because they both got the same amount, even though Miss Blackbeard's one is split into pieces. Alright, so now, you give me back the chocolates. Now, I have got a cake over here. You're going to pretend that this is a cake, okay? And I'm going to share this cake equally between the 2 of you. So, I'm going to give, Mrs. Moyle's getting 1/2, and Miss Blackbeard is going to get 3/4 of the cake. So now, which teacher has got more cake? Mrs. Moyle or Miss Blackbeard? Okay, so now, if you look at Mrs. Moyle's pieces, she's got 1/2. Miss Blackbeard has got 3/4. Miss Blackbeard actually has more cake than Mrs. Moyle has, because she's got 3/4 is more than 1/2. If we take these quarters from Miss Blackbeard, and we take Mrs. Moyle's half like this, and we put them like that, 2/4 of the cake is the same as 1/2, plus Miss Blackbeard has 1 extra quarter over here. So Miss Blackbeard actually has the most cake. Alright, so when you're doing fractions, you also need to be able to know which one is more and which one actually is less. Sometimes the more pieces you cut something into, well, actually all the time, the more pieces you cut something into, the smaller the pieces become. So if I'm only cutting something into a half, I get 2 big pieces. If I'm cutting it into quarters, I'm going to have 4 smaller pieces. So although 4 seems bigger than 2, it's actually 4 smaller pieces than the 2 halves that we had. Okay, so thank you for playing my game with me, and later on I'll both give you the same amount of chocolate, okay? Thank you, see you soon.